Hey guys, just wanted to share with you guys the other vehicle in my garage that I care about. This was actually my first vehicle back 15 years ago when I got my driver's license. It's actually my granddad's 1988 Chevrolet C1500 pickup. So it basically sat for several years, around 14-ish. Something like that, in a shed, not completely covered garage, but still a shed under a roof, keep some of the elements off. But yeah, and then I got my driver's license in high school, drove it all the way around high school for a couple years of college, then got a free college car off my brother. Yeah, and let it sit in the garage some more until I got out of college. Keep the elements off of it. Since then, it's really been a very good truck. It's got about 92,000 miles now. It had 54-ish back when I got it off my granddad. Yeah, been a great truck. Typical 30-some-year-old vehicle maintenance items. Camper shell's a little faded. Looking to have it repainted. The paint is just slightly faded, but looks really good. Has had a little bit of work done to it, but not much. For the most part, it's pretty original. It's also been replaced. After 34 years, the gaskets in the engine tend to get a little hard and a little brittle and that kind of thing. So actually just took the intake manifold off and regasketed everything from there up in the engine. Hope you like blue, because this is a very blue truck. Luckily I like blue. I might like blue partially because of this truck and it being my first vehicle. But yeah, blue interior, mostly blue exterior. Believe it or not, those are factory option wheels, which I really like. They are by far and away my favorite wheels that I've ever seen on one of these trucks. This is the very first year of the 1500 series trucks from GM. It's the GMT 400 platform. It's got the 5.7 V8. It does have automatic transmission. It's got these white and red stripe gauges that are really cool. You can see them move a little bit there, but yeah, I need to fix that. But you know, everything works really well. Radio and everything still original. Tape player, I'm not sure, but I mean, you know, it's 2020 something, and still has a cassette player. So I was going to show you guys inside the engine. It's why not. This does have the first year of rear wheel only anti-lock brakes from GM, to my knowledge. At least the first of these, their full-size truck. Yeah, 5.7, new gaskets, fired right up, set the timing again, and no issues so far. Hopefully that continues. The master cylinder has been replaced. The ABS module, now that some people have started to remanufacture them, has been replaced. I might come back later and delete it, because a lot of people do that and gives a better brake feel. These trucks, at least from my understanding and experience, are terrible with the brakes, even though I've rebuilt most of the braking system at this point. But pretty much everything else is pretty original. I just replaced the AC compressor this past year. The old one was working, but it was just making a racket. What can you say after 34 years? I will say one of my favorite features on this truck is this light. It's apparently a factory option, but you can pull it out. You can go all the way around the truck with it. If anything were to go wrong on the side of the road at midnight or whatever, You have light, you can go back and fix it. Such a convenience item that, as far as I know, nobody's really ever done otherwise. But it makes such perfect sense. I've gone through and changed those bulbs to LED because if anything were to ever happen, they use less power, less drain on the battery, and you can actually see if you were to, if you needed to see. But yeah, not 100% original, but pretty close to it. I actually made this cup holder for it. It just sits down in that slot. I don't actually know what that slot originally did, but it never had anything in it since I had the truck. Reason for that is that's the cup holders. Yeah, pretty useless if you're driving or even sitting off level with today's big cups. Got the original papers, manual, whatnot for it, all in here. Now I've been collecting a couple other things decade appropriate for this truck. The other thing I wanted to share was the trailer hitch that my farmer granddad welded onto this thing. And I mean welded onto this thing. Most people who have looked at this have said the cab would break off before the trailer hitch did. I definitely don't believe that per se because the chassis is pretty sturdy, but I mean, that's not going anywhere. Could potentially bend, but a couple people in high school rear-ended this thing, hit the trailer hitch, and this is still the original bumper, so clearly it did not hardly reach the bumper or damage it. So, that trailer hitch has saved the rear end of this truck at least twice. It does have this camper shell on it from made by Laser or Triglass, one or the other, I forget. Down in Alabama where my grandparents were. I did just take the oil to AutoZone and dump it, so pardon that, but it was definitely a farm truck for first 4 years of its use. My granddad got a new truck every few years and either traded it in or sold the old one. I fully expect he intended to do the same with this truck, but I'm glad he didn't, of course. Yeah, it was mostly used on the farm. You do see some scratches in the bed because, I mean, it was a farm truck. That's most of why I leave the camper shell on it, just to keep the bed out of the elements, keep these scratches from trying to rust or anything like that. I've thought about taking the camper off and putting some kind of roll-on bed liner or so over all the areas where it was touching on the bed, just so, I mean, just to knock the camper shell off and keep it from rusting or anything. But yeah, definitely love this truck. Definitely have some good memories in it at this point. Never getting rid of it. Got too much sentimental value and everything, and yeah, just mostly don't drive it on the roads too terribly often because these things just can't evade other drivers that easily, and other drivers on the road can be pretty crazy, so just try to keep it out of harm's way and keep it as good a shape as I can. Hope you guys enjoyed this video, and see you guys in another video in the future, potentially, maybe, eventually, who knows. As you can probably tell, I'm not a professional YouTuber by any means, but hope you guys liked seeing this truck.